proves what a lie the whole thing is, too, which has been obvious to anybody all along. Why the Republicans in the Senate who played along with that border bill are well, maybe they're just self-interested, but I think they're also pretty dumb. If they wanted to secure the border, they could have done it the first year. Why did they wait till year 4 of Biden's presidency to move this bill forward, which doesn't secure the border at all? And also, he should push her on deportation. You want to build a wall? Okay, if you commit to radically increasing, will you triple, will you quadruple the number of deportations that you've had per year? No, the answer is no. She's just going to evade, I know, but I really hope Trump happens. I mean, the 10 million illegals coming in, they can't hide. At least. And again, I think you just have to hammer. Don't go in. What I would suggest, and we'll give advice tomorrow, but my number one piece of advice would be don't follow Kamala Harris down the rabbit hole. She's going to try to get you to chase her and talk about the subjects that she wants to talk about. Reject her premise, go right back every time you can to their failures on economy, border crime. And Buck, the one thing that's certainly true about the border is Trump knows this well. Biden didn't get the bill that he wanted. He put in place executive orders, and the number of people crossing the border illegally changed when they reversed the initial executive orders that they put in place as soon as he came into office. He didn't need congressional authority for lots of the decisions that he was going to make. Residents of Israel right now have learned about another attack over the weekend. A lone gunman from Jordan killed 3 Israeli citizens at a border crossing in the occupied West Bank before security forces shot him dead yesterday. First attack of its kind along the Israel border with Jordan since October 7th, when Hamas terrorists carried out an assault on southern Israel. Fear of the next attack understandable, whether it's a gunman or missiles and drones sent by aggressors. As a precaution, many Israeli residents take to bomb shelters when there's notification of imminent danger. The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, that's the IFCJ, has been helping to provide as many Israeli citizens as possible with food and medicine for bomb shelter stays that can last for several days. For more than 40 years, the IFCJ has been on the ground in Israel within hours of the attacks by Hamas soldiers last October, and every day since, they've been feeding the hungry and protecting the vulnerable. We need to help them. One solid way to do that is through the humanitarian efforts provided by the IFCJ. They're looking for your financial contributions to help their ongoing efforts. Support Israel through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. To hear more stories like this one and show your support for Israel, visit supportifcj.org. That's supportifcj.org.
Learn, laugh, and join us on the weekend on our Sunday Hang with Clay and Buck podcast. Find it on the iHeart app or wherever you get your podcasts. The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, each weekday 1 to 4 p.m. on KFC. I'm Matthew, the theater major at Hillsdale College. Here's Hillsdale President Dr. Larry Arm with a Constitution Minute. The great Abraham Lincoln described the Constitution as a picture or frame of self. To guard and protect the emerald gold, established the personal independence.
I'm trying to be peaceful dancer. All stuff in all ways, right? What?
Gives hope. And by consequence, enterprise and
What? Push it out and put it back on. I'll put it on there. I just push it out on there and it's on there. noise?
Hey, Dad. Dad.
Right, this one ain't present. That's kind of a big one.
Right.
Of course we can. Just checking. What's on my mind, son? Oh, you're not good. So tell me what's going on. It's like, oh my God.
So I'm talking about a glass here.
Is it
And there's right on
Right.
the thing. So it's pissy a bit. Right? Very traditional, you can see. Pissy.
One thing you know about me is I used to be the lead singer of Rascal Flatts. But what you might not know is I now use my voice to support paralyzed veterans of America. Today, PBA is fighting for accessible air travel for our nation's disabled veterans and all people with disabilities. Did you know buses and trains are accessible, but airplanes aren't?
Wait,
Did you know that
Wait.
in-flight restrooms are
What are you doing?
inaccessible?
My God.
Did you know that 28 wheelchairs are damaged every day by
Yeah.
airlines?
What was that?
That's like breaking the legs of 28 passengers each day. Unbelievable. How is this okay?
I just sat down and she got pushed back up.
Accessible and safe
Fuck you.
to everyone. A basic civil right for all
Go
people
pizza.
is laws.
what the fuck was that?
Almost quit.
What my fork?
At PBA.org.
What my fork?
This is Barry Bird. Join me on the hotline weekday mornings at 8. I talk with you and with guests about what's happening in local, regional, and national news. It's a lively discussion of community farm on 680 KFQ.
AgriTalk dives into why commodity prices are doing what they're doing. AgriTalk talks to policymakers and producers from around the country. AgriTalk on KFQ, presented by NORAD, proud to serve you since 1923. KFQ. Welcome back in, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. Dana Bash, the only person to interview Kamala Harris and Tim Walz so far, is an objective journalist. He claims to be an objective journalist, but she wanted all of you to know that Dick Cheney saying that he's voting for Kamala Harris, it is more impactful than RFK Jr. Listen.
I hear you about endorsements. We don't really know the impact that they have all the time. RFK Jr. hasn't been in elected office. Dick Cheney was Vice President of the United States for 8 years. He was a senior member of the House. He was Chief of Staff to Gerald Ford. He worked tirelessly to advance Republican policies for a long time. You don't think his endorsement of a Democrat with that kind of pedigree is going to make a difference?
I really don't. Okay, Buck, is there a single person in America who was not already voting for Kamala Harris that saw Dick Cheney was and decided that they had to vote for Kamala Harris? I think more people who saw Dick Cheney
Got
alive
a fly was
talk
here.
about who he thinks he
Say
should
one
vote.
different.
Same
And
one.
I'll be honest now, I think he was so wrong on Iraq and so wrong on much of his leadership, in my personal opinion. Him voting for Kamala Harris feels right to me. And it actually makes me more convinced to give my vote for Donald Trump, honestly. Same thing with Romney. I mean, there are a lot of guys out there that I think have turned their backs on the knights of the day. And when I hear that they're on the Kamala Harris side, it actually makes me more convinced that I'm on the right side to be voting for Trump. I want to tell you, LifeLock, everything getting stolen on a regular basis on the internet all the time, one data breach after another, and that can happen so often that you need to make sure that you're protected. That's what LifeLock does. They detect and alert you to potential identity threats you might not spot on your own. Lots of places can accidentally expose your personal info. LifeLock will monitor millions of data points a second for risk to your identity or the identity of your younger family members. If you become a victim of identity theft, they'll help hook you up. Right now, get 40% off your first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code. 1-800-LifeLock, LifeLock.com. Use my promo code CLAY, C-L-A-Y, for 40% off.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton on the front lines of truth.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, each weekday 1 to 4 p.m. on KFEQ. You're listening to Late Afternoons on KFEQ. Now let's take a look at your markets.
Here's a look at your closing grain markets from the Chicago Board of Trade. December corn a penny higher at the close of 407 1/4. March up 1.5 at 426. May up 1.5 as well, 437. November soybeans 13 cents higher at the close at 10.18. January up 13 as well, 10.35 1/2. March beans up 13 cents at 10.49 1/2. October soybean meal down a dime at the close at 320.70. October soybean oil up 86 cents at 41.07. December wheat out of Chicago, penny and a half higher, 568 1/2. March up a penny at 587 1/2. May wheat out of Chicago, a penny higher as well at 599. December wheat out of Kansas City down 1 3/4 cents at the close at 575 3/4. March down 1 3/4 at 589. May down 1 3/4 at 596 1/4 cent. December oats finished the day 9 1/4 cents higher at 361 1/2. Your local cash grain bids in St. Joseph: yellow corn 382 to 387, white corn at 472, soybeans 968 to 993. Lifeline Foods in St. Joseph bid on yellow corn at $3.87. Truck dump hours 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. In Atchison, yellow corn 377 to 382, soybeans 958 to 963, hard wheat at 520, soft wheat at 478. In Kansas City, truck bids: yellow corn 362 to 377, white corn at 472, soybeans 959 to 1028, hard wheat at 561, soft wheat 518, and sorghum at $3.92. That's been a look at your closing grain markets on KFEQ. I'm Nathan Steedley.
Have you lost no health net? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Saving money on your roofing project now at Menards. We have an unbeatable selection of Atlas shingles. Castlebrook, Briarwood, and Pinnacle all feature a limited lifetime warranty and up to 130 miles per hour wind warranty. Choose from 20 styles in stock, ready to take home today. Stop in to shop our wide selection of roofing products or visit Menards.com for more great deals happening now.
Biden is dead set to get as much done as possible before leaving office. That should frighten every American. Why? Because nearly $1 trillion of infrastructure and pandemic funds have yet to be spent. When Biden pushes these funds out, we could see another prolonged inflation surge, just like during COVID. And I'm sure you remember the terrible effects that high prices had on most Americans. Hi, Donald Trump Jr. here, letting you know that a surge in prices can be beaten. A gold IRA from Birch Gold Group is the ultimate inflation hedge in uncertain times. To see how to protect your IRA or 401k, get your free info kit on gold by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Birch Gold makes it seamless to roll over your retirement account while preserving your tax